All right, so let's blast off right away. I want to talk about what's her full name again? 1 second. This is, I believe it's Milky Ways, but I just want to make sure I've got that correct. Because I don't want to use the wrong term to describe her. I don't want to use the wrong language. 1 sec, chat. She's a bigger streamer too. Yeah, Milky Ways, okay. So, oh, is she with Mythic? Yeah, she is, actually, she is. So, Milky Ways, Mythic Talent VTuber, posted this August 27th, 3:38 a.m., so earlier today. Hello, this is Milky, and truly this is sudden to make an announcement of, but I feel it is my heart to try my best to warn other creators before this happens to you as well. PayPal recently, out of nowhere, terminated my account permanently, mostly due to my Patreon that is 18+. I know without a doubt it was for this reason, as I sent a transfer and it flagged everything on PayPal and caused my termination once they most likely saw it was an 18+ Patreon account. As you know, if you don't, payment processors are growing more and more against 18+ creators and finding any way to terminate them the moment you are on their radar. It's game over and you will lose your account. I never thought this would happen to me. I've been a creator for 5 years and I never had any issues. I'm still shocked and in disbelief, but I know without a doubt it was my Patreon. What does this mean for me? For now, please do not donate to me as I have no valid working PayPal. I have made the choice of no longer creating 18+ content on my Patreon as I am left with no other choice. I do not intend to fight these payment processors. It's a fight no one can win because we are all at their mercy. Please keep in mind, if you really think things like it's fine, it's not going to happen to me, please rethink this because this is exactly what I thought as well until it happened to me. It's only a matter of time. Protect yourself by all means. Please don't be naive like I was. And so let's look at Milky's page a little bit so you guys can all understand like who Milky exactly is. I thought this was a lewd image for a second. I nearly got so spooked so quickly. Okay. So Milky has she's got a sizable Patreon, 193 paid members, 441 posts. At this point, I would have to look at her membership like specific. Yeah, here we go. So to give you an idea for what this means, this is $15, $35, which she's retiring. We'll talk about that. And then a $50 tier. So you need to understand that. It actually goes even further. I'm Jay. So this is, you have to understand, this is someone who at this point is making like pays the bills money off Patreon, right? Like this is a sizable, like, let me put it this way, guys. Like, let's say that, like, she actually doesn't have anything more than just $3 tier people supporting her. And let me figure out. Okay. And let's say that she has 193 paid members, right? So at the bare minimum, she's making like $500 a month. But that's extremely unlikely that she's only making $500 a month. This is someone who's likely making like $1,000+ easily a month off of Patreon alone, not including other things. This is someone who's making a fair amount of money off Patreon, especially because if we look at the member tier, it can go up to $100 a month. Some of them are sold out, 50, 35, etc. So let's see. I would say probably on average, this is someone who is definitely paying rent through Patreon, right? If not making more. It's hard to say specifically. So pretty serious Patreon creator, a lot of people supporting them. And the specific kind of content she was making under her spicy tag sort of varies. Let me show you first what she said in that regard. She left a further announcement for her Patreon members as well. Important announcement regarding future content. I'm so sorry. If possible, please listen to this audio. Starting from today, 8/26/25, I will be discontinuing Venus tier content. It's a $35 tier 1. We were just looking at it recently. I'm sorry, let me bring it back up. My bad, guys. Patreon UI has gotten so bad over time. I don't know why they keep fucking with the UI. Like, it used to be so much better. Can you guys tell I'm in a cranky mood? I'm like, okay. So, we're talking about this tier. This is what we're going to be discussing based on our blog post. $35 a month, spicy voice work, spicy artwork, spicy voting rights, VRC meetup priority, includes all previous tier benefits. Yeah, like the VR chat meetup tier, ASMR audios, and voice work. Okay. So we'll be looking at the Venus tier in a second to see what exactly she had slotted under that section. All of it will be censored, don't worry. But okay. I'll be discontinuing the $35 Venus tier content, meaning that I will no longer create spicy content. I understand that this is really disappointing news, and I am really sorry. I am left with no choice after my PayPal account got terminated permanently for creating spicy content. I never believed it would come to this, but I have for the past 6 months dreaded this happening to me. I'm still shocked and processing everything. I am so sorry. I will still keep the $35 tier up for anyone who still wants to support me in that tier. Thank you so much, but if you do choose to leave, I will understand. I am so sorry. Truly and most important, thank you to all my Astrons who support me here on Patreon. Without you all, I wouldn't be able to continue to do what I love. I really kid you not, I could not continue to do what I love and stay by your side if it weren't for all your kindness. This is my main source of income and security. Even imagining not being able to stay by your side rips me into pieces. I'm so thankful. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you so much. I hope I can always make you smile and bring you happiness just like you always do for me. I love you so much, my dear Astrons. Thank you for being in my life and for allowing me to be here with you too. Thank you. What does this mean for the current Venus contents? This is her 18 plus offering again. I'm going to need to back it all up. Until the new month of September, it should still be available. I recommend you please download it, as once September rolls in, I will have to have it removed from my Patreon. I am very sorry. So what if your PayPal is gone? Why can't you continue to do spicy content here? It's because without my PayPal, I'm only left one other option: transfer funds to be able to sustain myself and live, and it's Stripe and Payoneer, and they do not support 18 plus creators and adult content. I cannot therefore provide the service here anymore. I am so sorry. What will you do? Will you do Venus content somewhere else? The hardest answer to say to you today is no. I will no longer be creating 18 plus content in any other platform. My reason is very simple. The system is against me. Payment processors are at the throat of creators of 18 plus content. It's only a matter of time for them to crack down and terminate you. Unfortunately, this is what happened to me today. So there you have it. Milky's gotten a lot of... We'll talk a little bit about the kind of content she was doing, by the way. Milky has gotten a lot of attention on VTuber Twitter over this. Almost 1K retweets, 7.4K likes, over 700 bookmarks. This is going to shoot through the community like crazy. One, because we've seen other Patreon artists. We've seen Patreon artists get tagged, get flagged. But this is a VTuber, and this is a VTuber who is also an ASMR artist, even though some of the stuff in her Venus tag wasn't just ASMR work. So we'll go through it really quickly, and then we'll talk about, based on the information that we have on PayPal, what this means. Then I'll start to respond a little bit more to chat. Let me catch up with chat really quickly in the meantime, though. PayPal is doing scraping. This is so fucked up and sad. She's sizeball array. It's very bad. Was there a specific post that did a break of TOS? Not that we know of. She hasn't pointed to anything in particular. She's basically said that she knows that her Patreon was the reason that PayPal flagged her. And that was the reason why she lost her PayPal account. Now let's look at the kind of content that she was making. So we are going to go back to the ASMR content over here. I want to talk about this because this is sort of... remember, guys, how I sort of have had this sort of game plan of what I think the next 6 months are going to be? This actually throws a wrench into it because it's a further and quicker acceleration than I thought it was going to be. So let's actually go back up and talk about it a little bit. So this is everything under her Venus Worshipper tier. For those of you, again, just to remind you, Venus is the one where all the spicy 18 plus content on her Patreon was being posted. So she has a sizable number of posts that are tagged up, by the way. So... you're not gonna be able to see anything here. I'm not one of her patrons, but also, even if I was, everything would be censored. So some of the stuff you'll see here is obviously a kind of sexy PNG tuber planning for a VR chat meet update, some spicy art, a poll for her ASMR content, a chibi model kind of show off, summer voice pack gift, some lines for folks to enjoy, more spicy art, some more kind of admin stuff, some spicy art, admin stuff, spicy art, some merch information. A lot of this is stuff that you probably would see on other tiers as well. Spicy art, outfit reveal. If we go further down, we got another voice pack, spicy art. And we start to get to the ASMR content. So ASMR reading, ASMR rambling March, just talking about my situation, life, and things I'm going through. Love making Valentine night spicy ASMR. The night of Valentine's Day brings about many wonderful things after snuggling. Whoops. Sorry, guys. I'm telling you guys, like, Patreon's UI fucking sucks these days, dude. Like, it's so, it's so iPad, like, you grew up with an iPad built. It's hard to, like, keep track of things through, like, the fucking UI and stuff like that. Like, you should be able to. I mean, through the URL, excuse me. I hate the way Patreon's become. It's so bad. And it's because of fucking VCs and investors and shit, like, you know, coming in and saying, like, you gotta change this around, so we keep buying it. So again, I'm not one of our patrons, so I can't say specifically, like, what's going on in terms of, like, all the detail of her content. Love making Valentine night. The night of Valentine's Day brings about many wonderful things. After snuggle on the couch, things turn a little naughtier. Valentine homebody date. Rainy comfort and TV sounds. It's Valentine's night. You just came home from your work. Your beloved devoted cow wife is waiting for you to come home. We got more spicy art. Good boy ASMR, rainy comfort. Gentle, comforting voice that speaks only of how much of a good boy you are, reassuring you will always be that you are my good boy. More spicy art. October rambling ASMR, recording the night of Halloween, just a little cow chatting about life and also some of the struggles with her little puppers she's been taking. Some spicy ASMR info. A cozy ASMR, more rambling ASMR content, spicy art. Yandere, here's July short ASMR. Yandere waifu pins you down. A possessive mommy who wants you all to herself. She's always watching over you and wants you to understand an important message. July short ASMR, comforting, ear cleaning, and love. Pound the cow, breed her now. Spicy art video. So as you can see, a lot of this is a mix of spicy art combined with a little bit of spicy ASMR, but not that much spicy, like all things considered. And then you'll have stuff like, you know, here, NSFW poll inquiry, voice messages, more spicy art content, some more ASMR content as you go further down for the Venus tier. So essentially what I'm seeing overall with Milky is that the way she used Patreon was a mixture of sort of like a soft GFE experience sort of thing in the VA sense. Like, you know, ASMR is about like, you're my good boy, let me take care of you, things like that. And then things might get a little spicy with the audio content. But we're not talking about anything like what I do, guys, right? Like, we're not talking about anything that's like succubus wife stalks you and breeds your pussy until you're corrupted. You know, we're not even talking about like, say, like lolly show content. Like, we're talking about like kind of, you know, spicy art, but a lot of the spicy art seems to be relatively, without seeing it directly, it seems to be more kind of vanilla. And the general vibe is like very vanilla approachable. You know, Milky's content here, without digging too much into it, because I'm not like a Milky enjoyer, like a fan. Like, enjoyer sounds like I don't like her. Like, I'm not like a Milky like patron or fan or anything like that. I don't like actively keep up with her stuff is what I'm saying. But it seems a little bit kind of run of the mill for VTubing, ASMR, VA, slight GFE experience vibes, right? So to me, that strikes me as interesting because it suggests to me that while I suspect where Patreon is going to start pulling the plug is more explicitly fetishy, non-con, taboo content, I think they're going to continue to go down that direction, like in terms of how Patreon actually deplatforms individuals based on pressure from payment processors. This is a situation where it's not Patreon, but PayPal comes in and says, like, we see you're doing like this sexy artwork, some of which kind of vanilla, and we're just done. We're pulling the trigger, at least according to Milky. That's what happened, is because the Patreon had 18 plus NSFW elements. That's that pulled the trigger. So I want to remind you guys, I want to pull up this PayPal information that we got earlier, which I think is really important to understanding what's going on with these different instances, right? So if you guys remember, I talked to Gilbert Martinez, who is a source for Kotaku article as well, who's someone, artist, right? Animation, you know, someone that's kind of part of the activism around MasterCard, Steam, Itch.io, Visa, PayPal, the Pay Pros situation. And Martinez contacted PayPal a little while ago and had a conversation with a quote-unquote executive customer-focused team member. And we learned a lot from that conversation, at least according to that executive customer-focused team member. Some of the things we learned is sex toys can be sold but needs to be approved. Digital goods require extra authorization, needs to come from a legitimate source. The seller has to have documents and be given an opportunity to present it should their account be restricted. The owner of said business should directly contact PayPal, needs to be approved. No adult video streaming, NSFW art varies. Admitted that Game of Thrones, South Park, and the Bible have NSFW themes, but doesn't fall under such service and still needs approval. In general, what we have learned is that if you're working with NSFW content and you're using PayPal as a payment processor, PayPal wants you to reach out to them first and get approval for everything that you're doing with 18 plus NSFW content. Now, the thing is, right? This is not a situation where you should blame Milky or anyone else who doesn't reach out to PayPal, because what you're doing in that situation is it's the classic conundrum of like, do you ask for permission or beg for forgiveness, right? Because if you ask for permission and you're told no, well, you're fucked from the start. But if you beg for forgiveness 5 years later, probably don't get it, but you're operating with a PayPal account for 5 years doing spicy content, PayPal never catches you, versus having that business opportunity pulled from you day one because PayPal didn't approve you to create certain kinds of NSFW content or decided that it needed like further approval or change its mind on something. It obviously makes more sense for folks to begin with to be creating adult content without asking for permission from PayPal from a business perspective. It's better to hope the panopticon doesn't catch you the way that Milky was caught. But we do know for a fact that PayPal's policy is sort of like, you need permission from us. And of course, one of the issues that this brings up is, what do you do if PayPal says no? Well, you're kind of fucked from day one. You can't even build up a career the way that, for example, Milky has. But in terms of how this has impacted Milky, I mean, obviously, like, I was looking through Milky's Twitter, and I saw this. Holy shit, I'm so fucking done. I'm so sorry. I don't think I can stream tomorrow. Holy shit, I am shocked. I don't know what to do. My God. This was literally like an hour before she said, hey, PayPal, like, fucked me over. It's awful. It's awful. And I think that this is going to continue. Let me bring up MS Paint really quickly. We're going to have an MS Paint moment. Once again, many such cases. Let me catch up with chat while I prep it. Patreon's bad for many reasons. So true, Breasty. Spicy, but somewhat tame. Yeah, it's pretty vanilla content. Like, this is pretty run-of-the-mill. Like, NSFW VA content. Like, this is in VTubing, LewDtuber content. This is not, like, even close to what I'm doing. And my PayPal is still active. It's like each branch of the services supporting these industries is pulling each of their rugs out for different reasons, but at the same time. I need to head out a bit, might turn back later. All good. This will probably be published on Twitch. And either way, I'll definitely send the highlights to you, Homer. My goat. You should baw for me. You should baw for me, Homer. You're my goat. I feel like this kind of situation where using crypto would actually make sense. A lot of, like, whether you think it's unfortunate or not, a lot of folks are not going to make the move there. Like, someone suggested this to Leaf. They're like, Leaf, my man, this is the solution. Do crypto. And Leaf was just like, I'm not going to touch crypto. And a lot of that is because it's just like it's a PR issue. Like, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Like, Blue Sky and Twitter will yell at you. And so what can you do? Like, even if it could actually be a solution. I mean, like, even just me saying that right now, people are going to be like, oh my God, Anna's like prepping her grand launch as a crypto scammer. It's like, why the fuck would I do that? I make more money doing ASMR and journalism than I ever would crypto scamming people. Yeah, why don't I just destroy my whole entire reputation right now by creating AnnaCoin on the blockchain? It's just like people, you know, people are just so conspiratorial and anxious and paranoid these days in general. That was a crazy burp. That was a crazy burp. Suck coin. Yeah. Introducing a new suck coin. The first coin where you every time that you use it, you get a little hornier. It corrupts you a little harder. Suck coin. Don't forget our motto. We suck. Now that's a financial institution you can trust. A financial institution that tells you right on the tin that it sucks shit. I was thinking of like, what else can I say? But no, I'll just say shit. Hi, B-Rat. Hi, Asana Sweet. I'd trade that. Is Suckcoin going to be real? We're starting Suckcoin. You can find it on Bleebo. You can trade it now on Blorpo. It's on the blob chain. On Blocknen. Make sure you get your Blorbo bucks ahead of time. Alright. So, Anna, save that for me, please, Jill. Could just, oh my god, suck. Oh, you're so smart. I do want to do something with this. Like, this would be funny. Not as like an actual like crypto coin. Oh my god, no, but just like some sort of joke. Like maybe like you have to like pay me on Itch.io or something, and then like I print out a little PNG that I drew for you or something. I don't know. Okay. Originally, this is how I thought it was gonna go down, guys. I want to talk about this a little bit because I think this is sort of like opening up something new that's happening, right? So, yeah, discard all that shit, homie. So let's talk about Patreon really quickly. I need like a tablet or something. I need like a Steve Karnacki like big board. I mean, I could just do all this in VR chat, but I'm lazy. Okay, I don't want to put on the headset in the summer. It's like too hot out and shit. And then like it gets too hot in my room and I'm just getting off Lex Pro. So, okay, Patreon. Originally, this is what I thought was going to happen. Like, so PayPal and MasterCard or whatever pressures Patreon, right? Wee, what a terrible circle. Lolly Show, non-con, dubcon, fetish, miscellaneous, kink, further, hypno. Please forgive me. I know that's a bad circle. And then I thought from there, I'll explain all this. So this was originally what I thought was going to happen. Okay, guys? So originally I thought that PayPal and MasterCard would put pressure on Patreon, which results in the ban of Lolly Show. Let me... ASMR. Ditto's here for everything. Like, I thought what was going to happen is... So a lot of art content that's Lolly Show and also in some of these non-con, dubcon categories and stuff like that have already been affected. So what I mean here, for example, is, okay, so non-con and dubcon content has already been impacted by Patreon. Like if you draw stuff where it's not clear that everyone's consenting, like you might get dinked on Patreon. But remember how I've talked about in the Tumblr NSFW ban? Like it's kind of like a de jure ban and not a de facto ban because a lot of fetish content, a lot of kink content doesn't really read as NSFW enough to get banned from Tumblr. Like, for example, if your kink is sticking your dick in plushies and you never post images of your schlong in a plushie, but you do post a plushie and you're like, damn, I'd love to cuddle that thing right now. She's a bad girl. I'm putting her in jail. Like, Tumblr can't really ban you for that because it's pervy, but it's like not NSFW. Like it's just a little weird to the people that run Tumblr, you know? It's not weird if that's what you're into, but it's weird to the people that run Tumblr is what I'm saying, right? Like it's just, they're just like, this is a little something's going on here. But you know what? Like we can't ban this content because like no one whipped out a female presenting nipple or whatever. The moment you put like the moment it gets like an SPH, then game's on. But until then, so you know the Tumblr NSFW ban a lot of stuff actually continued to operate on Tumblr. For example, there was still a sizable vor community on Tumblr. In the same way, that's also happened with Patreon and non-con and dubcon content. Certain fetishes and kinks have not been impacted as much. For example, if you do Giantess content and vor content that has unwilling vor themes on Patreon, you might not have been as impacted as significantly as if you were like a yogi style artist who's doing like, you know, like non-con scenes that are very clearly non-con, save for the little I consent thumbs up bubble. You know, they read as non-con, you know, save for the I consent thumbs up bubble, but they're like non-con role play, you know, is what I'm saying. And so in this instance, my assumption of what was going to happen with Patreon was that pressure from PayPal and MasterCard would result in Patreon starting to clamp down on the ASMR VA scene on Patreon. So clamp down on people that are performing lolly show ASMR characters, non-con dubcon fetish content, miscellaneous kinks that might have been not necessarily hit before but might get hit now. Like, for example, further scrutiny of quote-unquote eating disorder content, like the way feederism was treated until they rolled it back to just force feeding. Shout out to Ionara Voices for making me aware of that change. And then hypno content as well is on Patreon. Actually, in some cases, you can still get away with it. Like, for example, Secret Subject has been fine on Patreon. And I remember talking to her about it, and she was like, yeah, they are still pretty friendly to it, actually. But I do think that that's also a screw that's going to get tightened. My personal experience of Patreon is that actually, despite the fact that Patreon is seen as somewhat censorious, they really do try to avoid, you know, kind of like putting the screws into a creator unless they have to. And then I figured from there, after this has been established, we would result in kind of a ban on like vanilla 18 plus ASMR content once all the kinks gone. And this would kind of be like the space that we would be operating in by like circa 2026. Like I do still think on some level this is kind of what's going to happen. Like, I think all the agencies that also have folks doing this kind of ASMR content that's more spicy, like Mythic, like Via Lore, obviously it's not as planned at Mythic, they just kind of support the talent, but obviously if you're working with an agency where your focus is ASMR content, I think having a conversation with management about what are you going to do about Patreon is like kind of urgent right now. Now, so all this was my original prediction. I'll even write it down. My prediction. What we have seen so far is continued Patreon censorship and bannings. But the situation with Milky is particularly concerning because we were talking about a situation where PayPal has usurped Patreon completely in this equation. And this is not new. This is not new. I remember talking to devs before who had this exact same issue. They'd come up to me and say, you know, 5 years ago, like, hey, I'm creating an adult game on itch.io. I have adult games and my PayPal got slammed. You know, my PayPal got hit. What I do think is concerning, though, is that we're talking about someone who is a model, right? We're talking about someone who's a VA, someone who is a VTuber. That's a little different, right? We're talking about a situation where a VTuber, a voice actor, has been impacted by PayPal. And that is definitely concerning. So what I think is going to happen is this. This is kind of my new trajectory based on what happened to Milky, because I highly doubt Milky is going to be the last. Milky herself said it. I thought this would never happen to me. I thought, it doesn't happen to me. It happens to other people. It doesn't happen to me. And then it happened to her. And that's why she's warning people and also kind of giving up. And I really feel for her with the 18 plus stuff. Yeah, I drew a potato. We're going to do bet. Put a drawing tablet on throne for your notes reel. You know how when someone yawns, you yawn? I'm getting that but with burping now. That's what I've been trying to do. Like, I'm successful. My burp fetish is contagious. I guess the middle category needs to be recognizably porn to whoever is doing the audit, like the prompt Tumblr banning porn too. Everyone's seeing someone. Everyone is someone else is someone else. So true. I think about that all the time. Everyone else is someone else is someone else. That's true. So with PayPal, this is sort of what I think is happening now. Okay. Now that this change is occurred. I think what's happening is Not that. Damn, I gotta drink Coke more. It really brings out the burps when I do content. I've like started buying it before I do like ASMR, like for content. Okay. I think what it's happening now is PayPal will begin in the further examination of VTuber accounts of lewd tubers. Let me erase this. Of accounts related, and this should be changed. That's my erasing sound. Okay. Related to lewd tubers. Which is going to result in further censorship lewd tubers and dabbling VTubers in 18 plus face scrutiny financially. This could have a chilling effect on 18 plus content and VTubing. Because it's one thing if a platform censors you. You can still make decisions about where to post. But when we're talking financial institutions, let me put it this way. Picture the world of this e-commerce situation as Main Street with different stores. The stores are different opportunities for you to pitch the sale of your product. If the store at the crossroads of Main Street doesn't want to sell your product, but the store next door to it does, then you're fine. You can at least go there. Now, it's not great. Maybe the store at the crossroads gets a lot more traffic, but there's an opportunity to, survive not working with the store on the crossroads, the store at the intersection. Now, imagine the sidewalk just stops working for you. You can't even walk on the sidewalk at all. Like, fundamentally, the sidewalk no longer exists. You cannot even access those stores anymore. You can't walk up to another store. That's the issue of this financial censorship, right? We're talking about a situation where any platform that's working with PayPal in any capacity to pay you out is now shut off from you. Or you're playing whack-a-mole and you try to create another account and you hope to God that, all the income coming to your PayPal doesn't get pulled. So this is a major issue, right? Because what happened to Milky is even worse than Patreon banning her. It is PayPal coming in and saying you can't use their services anymore. And remember, we have been seeing some PayPal users start to experience more issues with PayPal recently, which suggests to me that the screws are being tightened a little bit from, card networks, banks, whatever on PayPal. It wouldn't be surprised me if this is an ongoing issue. Now, I think what's particularly scary is that this is now a two-front situation. All this while also pressuring Patreon. Does this make sense? Like, what's happening here is not just that PayPal is coming in deciding, oh, hey, we're not going to work with... Oh, my God, I really have been watching too much Sopranos. Oh, we're not going to work with you, because, you do the porn. You didn't get your... you didn't get it confirmed that you do the porn, so we're going to ban you from using PayPal. It's also that PayPal is not going to stop doing all the shit that I already talked about. They're going to be pressuring Patreon. So what happens here is, in essence, it's... Let me get a good color for this. It's a two-front fight. This looks really bad. Do you see? It's like a two-front fight. Like the domain is the platform is putting pressure on you, and the payment processor is as well. This is not like PayPal is gonna decide to just go ahead and do like this route. Like it's not like they're just gonna decide to keep it. What the fuck? Oh wait, no, discard it. Actually, lol. It's not like PayPal is just gonna do this. Like this is now a two-front war. This is probably better. So this is really alarming because this is like tactic 1 and this is like tactic 2. And we're going to see both of these play out. Does that kind of make sense? I have many old comfort shows. It's my comfort show. I love Sopranos. Thank you for the follow. It's not showing up for me for some reason. Thank you for the follow though. Coco Ren, thank you for the follow. Okay, one sec. Let me fix that. I gotta go into like Stream Elements and reconnect it or something. Let me click chat. Yeah, creators getting pinched in the middle. Exactly. Like it's two folks coming in and pinching them on this. And that's a problem. That's a problem because what I unfortunately think is going to happen is Milky is not going to be the last. She's going to be the first. Or not even the first. It's going to be in a longer period that we're seeing. It's going to be a longer pattern of behavior. So it's obviously very concerning. The city has determined that they don't want your type of business around tainting their image. Yeah, exactly. People who handle the money is the issue. Yeah. It's an... You're good watching the Gabagool. Oh! But this is the problem, though. Right, going back to the MS Paint. The situation is that I think what Milky went through, like she said, one... Don't assume that she is just like not you. You have a lot if you're a creator of any kind, but especially if you're a fellow VTuber watching this, you have a lot in common with Milky right now. I have a lot in common with Milky right now. I'm always fucking frightened that I'm going to lose my Patreons. You know how much money that thing makes for me right now? It's like $220, $250, which is not bad for a niche fetish like trans lesbian ASMRist. And that's not including all the other money sources that I get for this, like doing Twitch or like doing Subscribestar, you know, kind of like the Fansly payments that still come into me just from folks that want to continue to support me on Fansly. Like that's a sizable amount of money on a platform that I'm continuing to grow on. I need Patreon to exist for me. In the same way too, a lot of creators should be nervous that they're going to be like Milky. And don't forget, for Milky, this is particularly tragic because as we talked about at the start of this segment, this is someone who she both directly said it, but also when we looked at the numbers, we could confirm it. She was paying the bills this way. Like this was her income. Like this is her living, right? Like what PayPal decided to do was just simply come in and say, no, you're not allowed to make a living anymore off of us. Like you can't make a living. Like, and so as a result, she has to censor herself. Like I mentioned here, it causes a chilling effect. My anxiety, my concern over here is that as financial institutions tighten the screws on adult content on the internet, it could tighten the screws on lewd tubing in VTubing. Why am I particularly concerned about that? Especially, well, one, I'm a sex workers' rights advocate. Two, free speech. Three, I myself am a sex worker. But four, those of you that remember, I've mentioned this again and again, I personally feel that the ENV tubing industry is headed for a kind of a meltdown in the more traditional vanilla sense of VTubing, where agencies continue to collapse. We've seen another agency over the past week fall apart, like all in one day, where companies start to back out. I know for a fact that I've had conversations with companies that are a little bit more skittish now on associating with the VTubing sphere. And also as economic downturn hits, for a lot of VTubers, they're going to realize, some in real time, some already aware, of the same exact thing that everyone realizes when economic downturn hits, that sex work is the safety net. When you can't pay the bills, you can at least sell sex. So a lot of us sell sex to pay the bills when we can't do anything else. The problem I see is that if, in my personal opinion, VTubing is heading toward more lewd tubing over time as the industry falls apart and a lot of VTubers experiment with lewd content, we're already seeing that. We're seeing more VTubers try to experiment with being a little sussy, being a little less say-so. My concern is that financial censorship will be yet another blow to VTubing. A significant impact on the ability for even people to sell sex through VA work or whatever in VTubing, which could be very detrimental. So I think what's happening with Milky right now needs to be understood as the canary in the coal mine moment. I think more VTubers will have their PayPals pulled. I think Patreon will continue to do everything that I've talked about here, tightening the screws on things. This isn't even talking about the impact that I think ASMRists are about to experience on YouTube in general. It's pretty alarming. If you are in the VTubing sphere, this is something that you should be considering 6 to 12 months out what your game plan is going to be. In my own case, that's why I got my own website. And I got my own website that has things such as the inability to comment on it. So a lot of these laws that are passing in the US, for example, don't apply to me because it's not a social media platform in the sense that Blue Sky is. But yes, this is the direction that we're moving towards. And I personally think, and I'm concerned, that if financial censorship continues to increase without any breaks on that, that could be yet another screw in the coffin for VTubing success in the long term. Or in the short term, I should say, excuse me. Long term, I think VTubing will be all right. But in the short term, there's a lot of stress factors and pressure points. So not good. But this is not good. And I really, really, really hope that journalists take this one seriously. This is big. What just happened to Milky? It's pretty damning and pretty alarming. It's pretty dire. All good, Raven. Thanks for stopping by. Love you. Getting rug pulled instantly on your sole income. I cannot imagine how stressful that is. Yeah, I mean, the other thing you need to remember is that a lot of us VTube because we're disabled, right? Like in my case, right? Like I can't just run out and get a normal job. Like I've got like all the social anxiety, agoraphobia, like mental health shit going on. Like there's a reason why I also do this, you know. It's like because I'm disabled. Like I've been to therapy because of my one of several disabilities, such as OCD, right? And a lot of us do this because it is the job that's available to us. Also, a lot of us do this because our other industries have been falling apart. For example, there are more games journalists and esports folks in VTubing than people realize. Or at least rather more people in content creation than people realize that were in the games journalist esports space. I mean, why do you think Alyssa Mercante does Twitch stuff now? Do you think it's because she just loves Twitch? It's because she and I both see the writing on the wall. We both know that our industry's fucked. You know, that's why we do this. That's absolutely why she started doing it. The job market is another set of bullshit too. Yeah. I mean, the job market's a mess right now. You can't even get hired for like a lot of white collar jobs because of just all the nonsense going on, the discrimination if you're trans or whatever. It's just a mess. So yeah, please pay attention to this one. This is a big one. This is a big one. This is not something that what's going off Milky should be taken lightly at all. So, is bad. Is bad. I know a lot of people are sitting there and saying, no, please don't say you've lost hope. No, please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. But this is what happens, guys. You can't tell creators that have lost everything to chin up. The reason why we do what we do here with all the activism work and trying to protect creators is so that they don't reach that sunken place. Like, it's important not to also like sit there and say like, how dare you lose hope? It hurts a lot to lose your livelihood. And people are going to be very emotional. I can't believe I have to even explain this. Like, it's basic, like, be aware of people's emotions and feelings and don't, like, blame them too much if they've been put in a rough spot. Like, I personally, if I was in her shoes, I would double down and try to be resilient. But I can't blame her for saying no more spicy content. Bye-bye. Because a lot of people are going to do that. They're going to say, look, I can't win. Bye-bye. I'm done. I'm not doing this. I don't want to lose another PayPal account. I don't want to lose my fucking bank or whatever. You know? So... Even if like if you do adult content online, the risk of you losing your bank is not in the same level as say like if you sell sex IRL. But you know, I mean, like anyone who sells sex, I don't fault them for being very nervous about losing their bank. Like this is stuff I worry about all the time. I'm always sitting there like, is my credit union or bank gonna yell at me and shut down my account because like I'm a whore over the internet, you know? So I don't know. It sucks, man. It sucks. It's dog shit. Let's talk about something that's also dog shit. Speaking of PayPal, my favorite company. I love PayPal. Okay. I love PayPal, guys. PayPal's great. Number one PayPal fan here. I need to get like a hat that says like I love PayPal and put on my VTuber. PayPal accused of withholding 80,000. Is that pounds? Pounds is not a real income. Britain's not real. 80,000 pounds made from sales of adult Steam games. £80,000 is a lot. Wishing Britain wasn't real. You can get Twitch banned for that. Okay. Hey Siri, what the fuck is 80,000 pounds to USD? I'm a filthy Americuck. I don't know. That's 8,000 pounds. 80,000. I said 80,000. That's for those of you from Burgerland like me. For those of you that are burger. That's 108,000 approximately US dollars. That's a six-figure sum, actually. That's crazy. Holy fuck. What a scam. Holy fuck. That's a six-figure amount in burger country. Holy fuck. This is why we're doing the censorship news today, even though I'm kind of sick still. Because there's so much fucking going on. Also, by the way, I'm going to point it out again. Only outlet covering this, fucking the gamer. No one else is doing it. No one else. Oh, Valnet pays $30 and $15. Yeah, and these guys are fucking putting it all on the line to cover this shit. You know? Like, James Lucas over here. And then also we're going to talk about Rhiannon did a really good article. Really good article here. You know, they could be writing something that takes less brain power for 15 or 30 bucks, but they're like, no, we're gonna write about something that matters. Meanwhile, like all the independent games press people are just like creaming themselves over Silk Song still. It's like, bro, everyone's like, oh, Valnut sucks shit, and yeah, it does. But you know what? James Lucas over here and Rhiannon over here are like doing the work, guys. Like at some level, like it has to be like, come on, like. We gotta at least like sit there and say like it fucking rocks that like these reporters that are not making a lot at this publication are like taking advantage of the platform they have compared to some certain someones at certain outlets, plural. That's a six-figure sum in burger money. There's a six-figure sum in burger. Holy shit. Okay. So let's read the article, and then we'll go to the Reddit post. Between the new restrictions brought about by the UK Online Safety Act and payment processors targeting digital storefronts, possibly even spearheaded by Project 2025. This is another thing that gamers have been really good at. They have been going in deep on this one, by the way. They have been staying on top of it. I feel at this point that the situation that happened with the Itch.io story was just a one-off blunder of just like some misunderstanding headline. The gamer has been on top of this stuff. I can also tell. I can tell you're reading my Blue Sky TL. You're picking up some stuff from what I'm putting down. And you know what I say? Keep doing it. I'm glad you're doing it. This is why I do it, so you guys will write about it. Massive W, the gamer. All right. Between the new restrictions brought about by the UK Online Safety Act and payment processors targeting digital storefronts, possibly even spearheaded by Project 2025, adult games are under more pressure than ever. And one developer story encapsulates what so many others are undoubtedly going through. Can I say, by the way, holy shit, like just... We'll get into the article, but hitting the ground running, being like, this is about adult games. How many other outlets or reporters or anything like that give a fuck about NSFW games? None of them do. They all think it's like, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about like what adult devs go through. And adult devs go through a lot, by the way. Programmer UFit Commercial 56881 posted their experience on Our Legal Advice UK, claiming that PayPal has withheld £80,000 from them after discovering that the money was made by selling an adult game on Steam. This money was supposed to be used to pay a large corporation tax bill due in August, they explained. However, for over 4 weeks now, PayPal have refused to release any of the money to me. They interviewed me and asked where it came from. I said it came from programming work I did for video games. They asked me where the games were sold. I said Steam. Then they asked what specific game it was and demanded I link the store page. I linked the store page, and when they realized it was an adult game, they refused to release my money. They have also not refunded to the lead developer. I've raised complaints that have gone nowhere. I've been told that I violate PayPal's terms of service. The game we developed is perfectly legal. It doesn't contain any genres that violate UK laws. It's about cheating in relationships. Bro, it's an NTR game. I'm sorry, it's just NTR's a meme. I'm just like, oh my god. Bro makes an NTR game and then like PayPal's like, Argh! Oh my god. In particular, they are said to have breached this term. You may not use the PayPal service for activities that relate to transactions involving certain sexually oriented materials or services. We're desperately trying to find another solution. Worse yet, they claim that they and the lead developer have been debanked, which is what prompted them to use PayPal in the first place. I've had my business accounts closed down by 3 major high street banks and rejected by almost every quote-unquote app bank like Wise, Revolut, etc., Fit Commercial 568 said. We don't have a choice. This all comes from a throwaway account with no indication of what the game is or any proof of their claim. So it's worth taking with a grain of salt. But with so many adult games being purged to satiate political groups like Collective Shout, and the payment processors they've been lobbying, UFit Commercial 5681's post is something that many adult game devs will likely relate to. In UFit Commercial 5681's case, commenters advise that they seek the advice of a solicitor, explaining that PayPal has likely put the money on hold for a set period of time. How long that might be is unclear, and UFit Commercial 5681 even alleges that an adult content creator reached out in support, claiming that they never received their money. If nothing else, it's clear that releasing adult games is only becoming a riskier venture, and unless bills like the one proposed earlier this year by Kevin Kramer are passed, it's an issue that's unlikely to get better anytime soon. So let's look at this. Okay. This is the actual Reddit post. I'm a programmer for games on Steam, primarily adult games, and a month ago I was expecting a payment for a game release which netted me approximately £80,000. This money was supposed to be used to pay a large corporation tax bill. For 4 weeks now, PayPal has refused to release any of the money to me. They interviewed me and asked where it came from. I said it came from programming work. They asked me where the games were sold. I said Steam. Okay. They've also not refunded the lead developer. I've raised complaints that have gone nowhere. I've been told I violated PayPal's terms of service. Bear in mind, PayPal is very far removed from the actual sales of this game. Steam pays lead dev. Lead dev takes money into his corporation. His corporation sends its share of the profits to my corporation's PayPal. I withdraw from that PayPal and into my business bank account. The game we developed is perfectly legal. It doesn't contain any genre that violates UK law. It's about cheating in relationships. Is it legal for PayPal to interfere and restrict legal business activity this way? This is crazy. Someone's like, why are you working with PayPal? And the OP, as I discussed earlier, said we got debanked. That's crazy, by the way. I do have to say that this is true. £80,000 is way above free advice from Reddit. I will say that. Being owed 6 figures and being like, Reddit help me, is a little wild. I'm just saying. Reddit help me, I'm owed 1/10 of a mil. Can you guys help me, Reddit? It's like, bro, no, get a lawyer. I'm owed 80K like pound sterling. Reddit, can you help me, Reddit? Just, oh my god. Oh my god, it's fucking clown world. But no, what this dev's going through though is crazy. Diamond hands, Anna. Well, this is Reddit's not. Oh, there is just like something. There's just like something like so. I don't know. It's just like I had this moment when I was reading like Detransition Baby, where like one of the 2 trans girls of the story is about the one that detransitioned. You know, her like boss comes in basically saying like, I'm pregnant with your kid. And she comes in and is like, I went to Reddit and looked up stuff, and no one I've talked to thinks it's as funny as I do. That the woman's like, I thought I might have been pregnant, so I went to Reddit. Guys, I think I might be pregnant. I'm going to Reddit. No, but seriously, if you are owed that much money, you should never go to Reddit first. Like that's such a bad idea. But I really feel for this guy. I mean, this is insane. Dude is a programmer, right? Dude is a programmer. He's not even the lead dev. He just does the code. You can't even do the code on an adult game without PayPal basically fucking holding on to all the money and quasi scamming you. Like, what the fuck? Also, by the way, this should be a bigger fucking story. PayPal holds six figures in sales. Six-figure sum in sales to a programmer. Every fucking adult, every fucking game developer, or every fucking games journalist outlet should be covering this right now. Like, yeah, it is a little, I will admit, it is a little nuts that the guy went to Reddit to talk about this. But, like, this is a fucking insane situation. Everything about this is insane. If this was any other game, every games journalist outlet will be covering this. If this was Silksong, if this was not even Silksong, if it was just some random indie game that was completely safe for work, everyone would be covering this, okay? Why? I know that to be a fact because that's what happened with Vintage Story. It was, in fact, something people were covering around itch.io. There were a couple outlets that covered it. Maybe not as many. But yeah, like if this happened, especially because of Steam, not even itch.io, but because of Steam, with any other game, this would be all over the games journalism press. But no one's going to touch it because it's an adult game. They don't want Google to ding them, and they don't want to be associated as an outlet that covers adult game stuff. So when this stream is done, I'm going to go back to Blue Sky, and I'm going to bang the drum on this issue. Like, I'm going to say, look, this really needs to be covered by the gaming press. Like, this is an emergency situation. This is someone who is, again, owed the U.S. equivalent of $100,000 not getting paid because of some dumb fuck PayPal shit, getting interrogated by PayPal, and basically, like, getting debanked all over the fucking place because they write the code for an adult game about cheating. I don't know. NTR curse is real, I guess. You can't touch NTR games without getting fucked over or something. What the fuck? But more importantly, why is no one fucking covering it? If I was at Vice right now, I would be writing this today. Right now. If I was still at Vice. I would have gladly gotten fired over this story. It's crazy. I mean, I left, but then they fired me, so it's like, you know, left, fired, whatever. I left, and they're like, no, you don't quit, you're fired. It's like, okay. Hey, Exo Drifter. It's kind of funny. That's awful. I mean, it's just like, it's the kind of thing where it's just like something, it's just like life is just absurd sometimes, you know? Like, it's just like, you lose, like, it's just, I'm owed 80k pounds. Reddit, help me. It's just like, life is absurd. Some people sell themselves too much in the one getting cut. The chilling effect these kinds of measures produce is meant to foster an environment of fear and self-censorship. If the censors have their way, we'll end up classifying all games as adult so they can ban all of them. I mean, it is a serious risk we are facing. I mean, like, I don't think that GTA 6 is going to get banned by PayPal or anything, but, you know, I mean, like, we are moving in a direction where more and more games face censorship. And again, I feel like the games journalism press is abdicating responsibility on this issue. Why? Because they're too concerned with chasing traffic and writing about fucking Silksong. Remember when I was going through the headlines and I was revealing that, like, everyone was cribbing from each other all the time? Everyone's copying each other's homework. Oh, you wrote about this? I gotta write about this. Oh my god, like, I've got to write about this too because you wrote about this. Oh my god, like, that's not literally what happens, but it's like this. All the editors have the same brain about what needs to be covered, and it's always traffic based. And one of the reasons why when I was more active as a games journalist, I did stand out is because I wasn't just doing things purely based on predetermined traffic. I was doing it based on speculative traffic. Also things that I think other people weren't covering that if we broke a story on it would in fact do well, such as the collective shout stories. What, Peter Thiel is tired of being NTR'd by Elon Musk? Poor Reddit lurries. Still better than asking ChatGPT. True. I think anyone who goes to Reddit to ask these questions while maybe setting themselves up for some legal issues, I will respect them more than saying, ChatGPT, I'm owed 80,000 pounds. Help me, chat. Hey, Reddit does have some really good info sometimes. They do. It's just a little. I do agree with the commenter who's like, they get a lawyer, bro. Like this is way beyond Reddit. He's going in my next set of layers to pay pros. That's a good point. Ironically, you can get fucked interacting with NTR. Bad joke. You have to laugh at life. Yeah, the most I learned from that was the devs who make Silksong did not in fact crunch. SEO traffic. Let's go. Yeah, everything's SEO obsessed, which sucks. Because it's just bottom of the barrel content at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, okay, look. This was a really good article. I'm going to share it again. Really good work from the gamer. We'll be reading another gamer article shortly. And, I mean, just fucking atrocious. Just really atrocious stuff. What a day. I mean, this is such a depressing stream already. All right. Speaking of censorship, it's time to talk about Itch.io again. Itch is blocking developers of NSFW games from being seen in the UK. Rhiannon Bevan. For several weeks, adult content online has faced restrictions across the board, whether it's through pressure groups targeting payment processors or governments trying to make it harder to access adult material without proving that you're over 18. Now, it appears that Itch has rolled out another measure to comply with the latter, as some game developers and authors on the site have discovered that their pages cannot be viewed within the UK anymore. Oddly, the work that they've uploaded through Itch, as well as the bundles they appear in, are perfectly viewable at the time of writing. However, the pages for the devs who create and upload the material can no longer be viewed, with a new disclaimer stating that this is in order to comply with the UK's Online Safety Act. Some Itch creators have had their pages hidden in the UK. Author Ella Bambust has started raising awareness of this over on Blue Sky. We tested this, and true enough, we were unable to access Bambust's page on Itch while our location was set to the UK. Her work could be viewed after inputting our age manually, but nothing would let us view the author's page. We also checked through other adult games and creators and found that these authors and developers' pages were restricted. We value our users around the world and are committed to complying with local laws and regulations, the disclaimer reads. While we are currently unable to provide this specific content or service to users in the UK, we continue to evaluate our offerings and compliance framework, and we hope to make more content available in the future. Under the UK's Online Safety Act, websites are responsible for ensuring that adult content is not accessed by anyone under the age of 18. This is why sites and apps such as Blue Sky and Discord have rolled out heightened age verification methods, which typically involve taking a selfie or scanning your ID. With similar laws set to come into place in other regions too, the gaming industry is taking notice, and you can already verify your age on Xbox before it becomes mandatory next year. This also comes as Itch, Steam, and other sites come under pressure to outright remove adult content from their storefronts. This came about from a campaign led by the anti-pornography group Collective Shout, but it also stemmed from Project 2025. Right now, the campaign threatens the freedom of game developers and gives payment processors the power to force stores to remove games they object to from sale. The only thing I would say is, this is a good article. I'm familiar with the story already. We'll look through the specific page and the primary information. The only thing I would say is that there is pressure to remove adult content from the internet, and we did talk about Trump admin official that we're very familiar with, Russ Vought, who is connected to worked on Project 2025, is also in the Trump admin. But I do caution people making the connection that Project 2025 is confirmed behind all of this stuff. It is what we do know right now from all the various he said, she said, really he said, because, financial institutions are so male dominated still. What we do know is that MasterCard is particularly nervous about certain kinds of adult content, and that banking partners working with payment processors here, specifically meaning PayPal and Stripe, are nervous about certain kinds of adult content. We don't know from there Whether anyone within the government is pushing and prodding and poking and pulling strings and levers and things like that, we don't know. So this is the one thing I would say. Like, it also stemmed from Project 2025. It's sort of like Project 2025 is more like an important piece of the puzzle as opposed to being directly connected to anything happening right now. It's just like kind of like something in the air. But otherwise, this is a good article. Let's talk a little bit about this. So this is what it looks like when you get OSA cooked. Content unavailable in your region. We're sorry, this content is not available in your region due to regulatory requirements established by the United Kingdom's communications regulator, Ofcom. This page has been restricted from access within the UK due to the Online Safety Act. We value our users around the world and are committed to complying with local laws and regulations. While we are currently unable to provide this specific content or service to users in the UK, we continue to evaluate our offerings and compliance framework, and we hope to make more content available in the future. If you believe you are seeing this message in error or have questions about our service availability, please contact our support team for assistance. Page owners can navigate to the Distribute Geo-Restriction section in their project's dashboard to submit an appeal if they feel the restriction is incorrectly applied. Thank you for your understanding. This is a good feature from Itch over here. Because what you need to understand about geo-restrictions is the internet is not as precise as people think. This is one reason why I was saying, like, someone saying, like, I know where your IP is a little bit like, oh, okay. Because, like, your IP can precisely show the area you're generally in, but your IP also might point to different places of the general area that you're in. So it's, again, one example of why geolocation is complicated. Another thing as well is just simply that, like, the internet is like a bit more fluid and amorphous in terms of like how connections are made than people think. I visited Xhamster about a year ago when I was reporting on age verification measures being implemented in different places. And Xhamster at the time had to comply with Virginia age verification laws. So the way Xhamster worked at the time is like you had to show your ID or get like biometric scanning. Like, it was an early form of biometric scanning implementation before a lot of other sites started implementing it. And I visited Xhamster without a VPN, and they thought I was in Virginia, but I'm in New York. I'm not in Virginia. I haven't been in Virginia in like over half a decade. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? So it was really funny, but it's a really good example as well, as why I'm glad Itch at least has this feature in here, because getting suddenly and unexpectedly considered to be in a region that you're not is like more common than people think. Obviously, as a burger woman from Burgerland, Itch is probably not going to think that I live in the UK. But, you know, like, as European laws start to come into effect, as this stuff continues to increase, in areas where everyone's landlocked, it gets a little bit more amorphous. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, otherwise, though, I mean, I'm not surprised. I am surprised that Itch is just starting with the age verification stuff through, like, kind of manually putting in your age. Like, eventually, Itch is going to have to figure out, like, how to fully comply with OSA. I don't know how they're gonna. It strikes me as very expensive to do. I don't know. It is expensive to do age verification if you are going to have adult content on your site. I don't know how they're gonna handle it. I guess what they are ultimately gonna do is just block a lot of content for different places, and that's that. But even then, like, I think if you manually verify your age to access certain things, I mean, like, what I understand is that, like, manual verification via age in general is implemented, like, worldwide to comply with payment processors. And I wouldn't be surprised if the UK just, like, starts finding some, like, just shutting out access to, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it just starts, like, generally shutting out access to, like, adult content in the UK without, like, because they can't have full age verification measures implemented. I don't know. This is an open question for me. I haven't done enough research on what's currently going on either with Itch. I'll do a little bit of digging while I chat here, but it just strikes me as I don't know how Itch is going to handle this. I mean, just think of 4chan getting fined, right? With Ofcom starting pretty hard on 4chan. if the UK government decides that, you know, just kind of manually confirming your age is not enough, they might start fining itch. They might take further measures. I don't really know. I don't know how Itch.io is going to handle any of this. I feel like Itch.io is really in a bind. I have no idea how they can handle any of this. I mean, like, at some level, they're going to just have to start, like, censoring content in the UK, I think. I don't know. Let's see if there's any further information from Reset Era. I didn't turn on my VPN for UK, so I can't, like, confirm firsthand how things are operating. Okay. I will note that Ibehime, the visual novel dev, did say Itch.io is now banning people living in the UK from viewing the pages of all developers who post NSFW content owing to UK censorship laws. So this is another fun thing for developers to worry about. This is from July 25th. So this is also not new. This is over a month ago now. So I really don't know how this is going to play out, but I also do say, hey, it's not bad that this is continuing to get coverage, because it is a fundamentally important thing to continue to get coverage, how this stuff is going to affect the internet. But it's depressing. I don't know how Itch.io can handle this next stage. It wants to find a way to make NSFW content work, like I can tell. Like, I think Itch.io really does care about making it work. But again, it's a running theme of the stream, right? It goes back to the Patreon issue, right? With Patreon, PayPal, and Milky. Two-front war over there. PayPal is pressuring, PayPal targeting creators, PayPal targeting Patreon, Patreon deplatforming creators while also deplatforming and you know, pulling financial access from the people that have PayPal accounts. So it's a two-front war over there. And in the same way, too, Itch.io is faced with a two-front war, right? On the one hand, it's got payment processors screaming and breathing down its neck, trying to figure out how to navigate NSFW content. And then also it has shit like the UK coming in and saying, whoa, 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 whoa. You need to age verify who is accessing this kind of content. And if we don't like the way you're handling it, we might fine you. Maybe not the easiest thing for a small company like Itch.io to navigate. It's scary. I don't know how this stuff is going to shake down.